Space was silent. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the heavy silence that made even machines feel uneasy. Above Earth, satellites moved in their paths, blinking like small stars. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Then the signal arrived. At first, it was weak. A thin line of sound hidden inside cosmic noise. Earth's listening stations almost ignored it. Almost. A young technician noticed the pattern. It was repeating. Perfectly. That alone was impossible. Within minutes, alarms sounded across research centers. Scientists gathered. Screens filled with symbols that were not human. The signal was coming from deep space, far beyond Mars. It was not random. It was a message. For hours, computers worked to decode it. Governments were informed. Military leaders were awakened in the middle of the night. By sunrise, the message was clear enough to translate. The words were short, cold, final. You have been observed. You are weak. You are prey. Surrender your world. This is your final warning. Earth stopped breathing. News spread faster than fear. Every screen, every phone, every city showed the same words. People stared in silence. Some prayed. Some screamed. Some laughed. Think it was a joke. It was not a joke. The message came again, this time stronger, louder, as if whoever sent it wanted to be sure that Earth understood. World leaders met in emergency sessions. Old enemies sat at the same table. No one argued. No one smiled. For the first time in human history, the planet faced something not from Earth. The aliens called themselves the Carthel. According to the message, they were hunters, ancient, powerful. They ruled many systems. They had watched Earth for a long time. Humans were young, violent, divided, perfect prey. The Carthel offered one choice: surrender. If Earth obeyed, humans would survive as workers. If not, Earth would be cleansed. The word echoed in every language. Cleansed. Military commanders asked the same question again and again. How long do we have? The answer was simple. 72 hours. Across the world, armies went on high alert. Jets filled the skies. Ships left harbors. Missiles were armed. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. Human weapons could not reach the stars. In cities, people cried and held their families. Some ran to bunkers. Some refused to believe. Social media burned with panic and lies. Religious leaders spoke of the end. Scientists spoke of probability. The probability was low, very low, and yet something strange happened. Inside a hidden facility beneath a mountain, far from any city, a different meeting was taking place. No cameras, no phones, only a round table and 12 people. They did not panic. They listened. An old man in a dark uniform read the alien message again. His face did not change. He placed the tablet down and looked around the room. They think we are weak, he said calmly. A woman beside him smiled, just a little. They think strength is size, she replied. Another voice spoke from the shadows. They studied our wars, he said, but they did not understand them. The room was quiet. On the wall behind them was no flag, only a symbol, a simple one, a circle with a mark inside. Old, classified, humanity's last option. For decades, humans had feared invasion, not from aliens, but from each other. That fear had driven secret projects, hidden defenses, technologies never shown to the public. Not because humans wanted war, but because humans never trusted silence. A young officer asked a question everyone else avoided. Should we answer the message? The old man shook his head. No, he said, not yet. But sir, the officer said, they expect a reply. Yes, the old man answered. That is why we will not give one. The room understood. Silence can be louder than words. Up in space, the Carthel fleet moved closer. Massive shapes slid through the darkness. Their commanders watched Earth carefully. They waited for fear. They waited for begging. They waited for surrender. Instead, they received nothing. No reply. No signal. No response at all. The Carthel laughed. To them, Silence meant only one thing. Humans were afraid. They marked Earth's silence as submission in progress. They did not know the truth. On Earth, deep under stone and steel, old systems woke up. Lights turned on where no light had shone for years. Machines began to hum. Human hands moved with calm purpose. The warning had been received. The hunters believed the prey was frozen in fear. They were wrong. Earth was not silent because it was weak. Earth was silent because it was preparing. The Carthel watched Earth from orbit. Their massive ships blocked sunlight in some regions, casting shadows over cities. They were confident. The silence of humanity had convinced them that the planet was already theirs. The aliens believed humans would panic, beg, and surrender. They were wrong. Below the surface, humans moved like ghosts. Underground bases, hidden decades ago, were now alive. Corridors hummed with machinery. Soldiers, engineers, and scientists worked together in perfect synchronization. Every action had been planned. Every move had a purpose. This was not fear. This was preparation. In a control room deep inside a mountain, a human general studied the Carthel fleet on a glowing holographic map. His eyes were calm, but sharp. He tapped the screen, marking ships that would be neutralized first. Around him, commanders followed his orders without question. One young officer asked, "Sir, why are we not attacking them immediately?" The general smiled slightly. "Because we do not strike blindly. We wait. Observation is power." Outside in the skies, human satellites adjusted their orbits. Communications arrays came online, ready to intercept alien signals. Robots and drones activated for reconnaissance. Weapons older than most humans were brought back to life, updated with new technology. The Carthel sent a second message, larger and more aggressive than the first. "Your silence is not wisdom. You have 72 hours. Surrender or be destroyed." The message echoed through every city. Panic began to rise, but still, no one in command panicked. A scientist, looking over ancient Earth records, spoke softly, almost to herself. "They think they know us, but they have never studied our history." Humans had survived ice ages, wars, plagues, and countless disasters. They had been hunted before by nature, by predators, even by other humans. And each time they had survived, not because they were the fastest or the strongest, but because they never ran. They never gave up. The Carthel had made a mistake. They studied humanity, but they misunderstood it. They believed humans were chaotic and weak. They believed humans would destroy themselves long before an alien fleet arrived. They were wrong. Across the globe, small teams activated hidden defense networks. Abandoned bunkers, satellite weapons, and energy arrays long forgotten were now operational. Every system had been planned for this moment. Every human in these networks understood their role. In the underground command center, a map of the solar system glowed in green. The general pointed at Mars. "They think the asteroid belt is a safe route. Let's remind them it is not." Engineers nodded. Systems hummed louder. Missiles designed to travel beyond Earth were loaded. Lasers aligned. Gravity disruptors prepared. All in silence. Meanwhile, the Carthel fleet misinterpreted human stillness. Their commanders laughed. They're afraid. Their silence confirms it. They did not know that every second of silence allowed humans to prepare more. Every moment of calm was another layer of the trap. Humans were not passive. They were calculating. They were planning. A communications officer intercepted a Carthel conversation between ships. Their leaders boasted about the easy victory ahead. "By tomorrow, Earth will kneel," one said. "By the day after, we will collect the planet's resources." The young officer looked up at the general. "Sir, they really believe this is over." The general leaned back, fingers steepled. "Yes, that is their mistake. In history, humans have been underestimated many times. By empires, by kings, by enemies far stronger. Each time, humans adapted, evolved, and survived. Every hunter who had ever walked the earth had learned one rule: to never run from what is hunting you. And now, humanity faced a new hunter. The Carthel believed themselves the apex predators. They believed humans were prey. They were about to learn the first lesson. Prepare the fleet, the general said quietly. They will make the first move. And when they do, we will show them why humans are never hunted without consequence. Across the underground networks, systems activated, ships once forgotten, hidden in dry docks and secret bases, powered up, drones swarmed in orbit, scanning, analyzing. Every human on duty knew their place. For the first time, some humans above ground looked at the sky and felt the truth. Fear was gone. It had been replaced by resolve. A calm, quiet, deadly resolve. Above, the Carthel fleet moved closer. They watched for signs of panic. They searched for weakness. They found none. Because humans did not run. Humans did not beg. Humans did not surrender. Humans prepared. And the galaxy had yet to see what the hunters would do when the prey finally struck back. The sky above Earth darkened as the Carthel fleet entered the solar system. Massive alien ships moved like shadows against the stars, each one larger than any city. Sunlight barely reached the ground in some regions. Panic gripped the surface. People screamed, ran, and hid. Governments broadcast emergency messages. The world watched in terror. But deep beneath the surface, humans were calm. Underground bases were alive with energy, systems humming. Soldiers checked weapons. Engineers adjusted drones, and commanders studied alien movements. Every human knew their role. Every plan had been rehearsed in secret for decades. A general looked at a holographic map of the approaching fleet. They are confident, he said. They think we will panic. They think we are prey. Let's see how wrong they are. The aliens launched their first strike almost immediately. A small human moon base. The first line of observation was obliterated within minutes. Explosions shook Earth's surface. Cities felt the tremor. Humans on the surface ran for cover. The Carthel broadcasted destruction across Earth, showing the rubble as a warning. Their voice echoed through every device. This is your future. Surrender now. Resistance is pointless. People panicked even more, but the humans in the underground bases barely flinched. A young officer turned to the general, fear in his eyes. Sir, they destroyed the base. Millions will die. What do we do? The general's eyes were steady. He spoke slowly, deliberately. They think they have broken us. Let them think. Our move comes next. Precision, timing, and patience. That is how hunters strike. Across the control room, engineers activated hidden weapons. Satellites aligned. Missiles powered up. Drones lifted into orbit. Energy weapons, long hidden, flickered on. Humans were ready to fight not for glory, but survival. In space, the Carthel laughed. They assumed the humans had been crushed. Silence was always interpreted as fear. They had never faced an opponent who could survive annihilation calmly. Then came the human response. At first, it was subtle. Alien sensors detected anomalies in orbit. Ships reported interference in communications. Small weapons fired from unexpected angles. Aliens believed it was a malfunction. But soon, the attacks became precise. Every Carthel ship that moved into range found itself under attack. Lasers and missiles struck with deadly accuracy. Ships slowed, tried to retreat, but human drones intercepted them. One alien commander panicked. How? They were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to surrender. Another ship exploded near the fleet, sending debris into nearby vessels. The aliens realized their calculations had failed. Humans had anticipated their every move, every step, every strike. On Earth, the general smiled at the display of alien confusion. They underestimated us. They studied our history, but they did not understand it. Humans are not prey. We are hunters. In the control room, a scientist tapped the holographic map. They believe they control the fight. They think we are reacting. But we have been planning this for decades. This is no reaction. This is strategy. Aliens tried to adjust their tactics. They sent reinforcements to cover their losses. But the humans had already predicted this. Mines hidden in asteroid belts detonated, cutting off supply lines. Satellites fired small but deadly weapons. Human fighters emerged from hidden bases near the moon, striking alien ships that thought they were safe. The Carthel began to panic. Their arrogance faded. Every move was met with precise counterattacks. Every calculated strike seemed anticipated. Their confidence crumbled. Why can they do this? One alien shouted. They were supposed to be weak. They were prey. In the underground base, the general leaned back in his chair. Because we evolved to survive. Because we learned to hunt. We never run. And we never surrender. For the first time, the hunters faced true resistance. And it was unlike anything they had ever imagined. The sky above Earth was no longer just darkened by alien ships. It was filled with the fire of battle. Lasers cutting through the void, missiles streaking like comets, and drones swarming with deadly precision. The Carthel realized too late that Earth had been ready all along. The humans they had expected to be terrified, begging, and weak were the hunters they had failed to recognize. And the first strike was only the beginning. The Carthel fleet had never faced resistance like this. Every strike they launched was anticipated, every maneuver countered. Panic spread through their command ships. Their confidence had been their downfall, and they had not even seen the full strength of humanity yet. Deep beneath Earth, in vast underground command centers, humans moved like a single organism. Lights flickered on in chambers long abandoned. Machines hummed with life, and weapons that had not fired in decades came online. Every system had been built for this moment. Every technology, from gravity disruptors to orbital drones, was ready. The general stood before a holographic display, showing the positions of the alien ships. They believe they are hunting prey, he said. Let's remind them who the hunters are. Across the solar system, hidden defenses activated. Asteroid belts shifted slightly, revealing mines and traps the aliens had never detected. Communication satellites intercepted alien signals and fed them false information. Alien ships, thinking they were moving safely, triggered energy nets that slowed them down. One officer, looking at the map, whispered, "Sir, they won't understand until it's too late." The general nodded. Exactly. This was the trap humans had built long ago, not because they hated aliens, but because they understood one truth: survival required preparation. Every generation of humans had learned to adapt. Every war, every hunt, every disaster had taught them one thing: anticipate the threat before it arrives. The Carthel fleet, confident in their power, entered a region of space near Jupiter. Suddenly, massive gravitational distortion slowed their ships. Mines hidden in the asteroid belt detonated, cutting off escape routes. Alien vessels collided with debris. Panic spread among the Carthel commanders. "What is this?" one screamed. "They should be weak. They should be begging." Another replied, voice trembling, "It's a trap. It has to be. Only hunters could do this." On Earth, humans watched in silence. They did not celebrate. They did not taunt. They simply followed their plan. Precision strikes hit alien ships from unexpected angles. Satellites fired energy beams. Orbital drones swarmed, attacking critical systems. One Carthel flagship tried to retreat. Its engines flared, but hidden human weapons disabled them instantly. Communication lines went dark. The flagship drifted helplessly, a warning to the rest of the fleet. In the underground command room, the general tapped the table. "They learned to hunt in the wrong way," he said. "They see us as prey. But they forgot. Earth taught its people to never be hunted." An officer asked, "Sir, how do we know where they would move?" The general smiled faintly. "We didn't just study them. We studied ourselves. Our history, every human battle, every hunt, every strategy we ever used. That knowledge is stronger than any alien technology." On the surface, people were still unaware of the true battle happening above their heads. Some stared at the sky, frightened by the strange lights, not knowing these flashes were the first real strikes against the Carthel. The aliens realized their arrogance had blinded them. They had studied humans for centuries, but they did not understand the most important thing. Humans were hunters by nature, not because of strength alone, but because of intelligence, patience, and the ability to turn any environment into a weapon. Every plan the Carthel had made crumbled. Every calculation failed. Their fleet was not collapsing from human firepower alone, but from human strategy, precision, and the hidden systems Earth had prepared for decades. The general observed the enemy's desperation on the holographic display. "They underestimated us," he said quietly. "They studied the prey and ignored the predator. Humans had waited for this moment. Every defense, every trap, every weapon had been built in secret, quietly, over years. And now, it was time to show the galaxy what humans could do when they refused to be hunted." The Carthel commanders, for the first time, realized their mistake. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity had been ready all along. And the first full counterattack was only the beginning. The Carthel fleet was in chaos. Ships drifted in orbit, engines failing, weapons offline. Their confidence had been shattered. The aliens who believed themselves masters of the hunt were now terrified. They had never encountered prey that fought back with such precision, patience, and cunning. In the underground command center, humans watched the battle unfold. The general leaned over the holographic map, his eyes calm but intense. "They thought they were hunters," he said, "but they underestimated what it means to be human." An officer, watching as alien ships exploded one by one, asked, "Sir, why are we so effective?" The general smiled faintly. "Because we are hunters too. But unlike them, we do not hunt for sport. We hunt to survive. And when humans hunt, we do not stop until the threat is gone." Every human system activated in perfect synchronization. Orbital weapons struck alien ships with deadly accuracy. Mines hidden in the asteroid belt detonated at the precise moment, destroying supply lines. Drones swarmed the enemy, attacking weak points no one thought could be reached. The Carthel commanders shouted orders, but their voices were drowned by confusion and fear. Their fleet was unraveling, and they had no idea how humans anticipated every move. One alien asked, voice trembling, "How can such a small species be so precise? So deadly? On Earth?" The general replied to his officers, though the aliens could not hear him. "They are afraid of our past. They do not understand it. Humans survived every predator, every disaster, every empire that tried to crush us. Every generation learned to fight smarter, harder, better. And that is why they fear us now." The Carthel had studied humans for centuries. They had recorded wars, observed conflicts, and predicted behaviors. But they had missed the most important lesson. Humans never surrender. Humans never run. Humans adapt, improvise, and strike when the enemy least expects it. In space, alien ships tried to regroup, but humans anticipated every attempt. Missiles cut off retreat routes. Lasers disabled engines. Communications were jammed. The Carthel realized too late that Earth's defenses were not just weapons. They were extensions of human strategy itself. An alien leader screamed into the void, "We are losing. How is this possible? They are just a planet of weak animals." A human commander nearby shook his head. They have never seen what a united species can do. They know only their own strength, not the strength of a species that refuses to die. The Carthel had expected panic, begging, and submission. Instead, they found calm, calculated, and precise resistance. Humans fought not for glory, but for survival. Every move was measured. Every strike was intentional. The general gave the final order for the first coordinated counterattack. It was not just defense. It was the beginning of the hunt. Alien ships were surrounded, their paths blocked by human weapons and tactics. Some tried to escape, but the hidden traps on their route left them vulnerable. The Carthel could not believe what was happening. Their superior technology, their experience, their numbers, all were failing. They had studied prey their entire lives, but the prey they faced now was unlike any other. The general looked at the young officer beside him. "Do you understand now?" he asked. The officer nodded, eyes wide. "Sir, they fear us." The general's eyes were cold and steady. "Yes, they fear us, because humans are not meant to be hunted. We are the hunters. And now, the galaxy will learn the same lesson." In the skies above, alien ships exploded one after another. The humans did not celebrate. They simply continued their work, moving with precision, calm, and deadly purpose. Every ship destroyed, every fleet disrupted, was another reminder. Earth was not weak. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity was feared. And the Carthel, the so-called hunters of the galaxy, were learning a lesson they would never forget. The Carthel fleet was in total disarray. Ships that had once loomed like mountains above Earth now drifted powerless. Engines disabled, weapons destroyed. Their commanders shouted orders, but no one listened. Panic replaced arrogance. The hunters had become the hunted. In the underground command center, the human general observed the chaos on the holographic display. Every alien ship caught in Earth's traps confirmed one truth. Humans had planned this for generations. Every calculation, every strategy, every hidden weapon was part of a single purpose. A young officer turned to the general, voice shaking slightly. "Sir, their leaders are begging. They want peace." The general did not smile. He leaned over the map. "They are finally learning what we already knew. Fear can teach faster than any weapon, but peace on their terms is not an option." Above Earth, alien leaders transmitted messages in desperation. Their voices echoed across the planet, begging for negotiation, promising loyalty, promising submission. But the humans had already heard enough. A scientist in the command room said softly, "They called us weak. They thought they could destroy us with a warning. They underestimated everything we are." The general nodded. "Yes, and now they see the cost of that mistake." Missiles and energy weapons struck in calculated waves. Ships that had attempted to flee were intercepted. Every corner of the alien fleet was trapped. Communication networks jammed, leaving the Carthel blind to each other's movements. Their once perfect coordination collapsed into chaos. One alien commander screamed, "We studied them. We watched their history. How can this be?" The general's voice was calm. "Because they only studied prey. They never studied hunters." The human forces pressed their advantage. Orbital drones swarmed every ship. Mines detonated at the perfect moment. Gravity disruptors destabilized alien vessels, sending them spinning uncontrollably. Yet the humans did not destroy every ship. Some were allowed to escape, battered and humbled. The general watched the remnants flee, sending a single unmistakable message. "They will return," an officer warned. The general shook his head. "Let them. They will remember who hunts and who survives." Fear spreads faster than any fleet. Below, humans celebrated quietly, not because of victory alone, but because they had proven something greater. Humanity had faced a predator from the stars and had survived, not by hiding, not by surrendering, but by standing strong, calm, and united. The Carthel, defeated and humiliated, retreated to the far reaches of space. Their leaders, once arrogant and cruel, were left to carry the story of the planet that had fought back. The general sent one last message to the alien survivors. "We warned you once. Remember this lesson. Humanity is not prey. We are hunters. And next time it will be worse." On Earth, humans returned to their daily lives, but nothing felt the same. They had seen the threat of the galaxy and had survived. They had demonstrated that humans were not to be underestimated. Every soldier, scientist, and citizen knew the truth. Earth was not defenseless, and humanity would never bow to fear. The Carthel learned that arrogance can be fatal. The galaxy learned that one planet had survived not because of technology alone, but because of the spirit, patience, and cunning of its people. And deep underground, the general smiled faintly. "They called us weak. They thought we were prey. They were wrong. Always wrong." Above, the stars shone again, but Earth now held a silent warning. A message etched into the minds of every civilization that watched. Do not underestimate humans. The Carthel were gone, fleeing the solar system with their fleet in shambles. Their arrogance had been broken, their confidence shattered. But humans did not celebrate with fanfare. Silence returned, but it was not the quiet of fear. It was a quiet of victory, of control, and of warning. Deep underground, the general watched the stars through a holographic screen. He tapped a command, and a message began to transmit across the galaxy. This was no ordinary signal. It was powerful, impossible to ignore, sent in every frequency humans had learned from studying alien technology over decades. The message was simple, but its meaning was clear. Do not come to Earth. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not run. Humanity hunts. We will defend our home, and we will strike first if threatened. This is your warning. The galaxy has been informed. Across light years, civilizations intercepted the transmission. Alien species, some advanced, some peaceful, all listen in fear. Humans, once considered small and weak, had now proven that Earth was not to be trifled with. Inside the underground command center, the general turned to his officers. "We have sent the message," he said calmly. "The galaxy knows who we are. Let them remember it." A young officer asked, "Sir, will they ever attack us again?" The general shook his head. "Perhaps, but they will think twice." This was not just a defense. This was a lesson. The hunters are not always what they seem. The prey can strike back. On the surface, humans resumed their lives, though everything had changed. Children played under the sunlight, unaware of the galactic warning now traveling through the stars. Scientists returned to their labs. Soldiers trained quietly, ready for any challenge. Humanity had survived, and in surviving, it had become a legend. The Carthel, once confident they were superior, now carried a new story to their colonies. A story of a small blue planet where the inhabitants could not be hunted, a species that could strike with deadly intelligence and precision. They called humans the silent hunters, and whispered fear across their communication networks. Back on Earth, the general smiled faintly. He knew the galaxy had learned the truth. Humans were unpredictable, dangerous, and fearless. No species could assume dominance over them without paying a price. In the command center, the young officer asked, "Sir, why did we destroy all of them?" The general's eyes were steady, almost gentle. Because fear teaches more than death. They survived to tell the story. And now, every civilization in the galaxy knows, humanity cannot be underestimated. As the stars shone above, Earth was quiet, peaceful, and safe, for now. But the humans who would face annihilation knew that survival was not a gift. It was earned through patience, strategy, courage, and an unbreakable will. The galaxy had received its warning. A signal so simple, yet so terrifying. Do not underestimate humans. Do not invade Earth. We are hunters, and we will not hesitate. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, alien commanders who had once called humans weak shivered, remembering the destruction they had seen. Humanity had spoken. Humanity had shown its strength. Humanity had become a story for the stars. The warning had been given, and this time the galaxy would listen.